Hey, what's up guys, I'm Torn and welcome back to Victoria 3 as we are playing as the United States. So let's go and jump on into today's episode. I already got construction set up. I know we were saving money here, but I decided to go ahead and really start building up our Navy a bit more. This is 10 more naval bases, so we'll have a total of 60 ships. We have 50 as of right now, and all of these are going to be in the south. So this will result in them having 20 ships down here. Which is that Admiral's cap. I built 5 of those in Florida and 5 of them over here in Texas. So the reason for that is because I'm considering going to war with Mexico despite the diplomatic situation, and we'll need a fleet to protect our coast because we're going to be at war with, at the very least, Russia and France, but perhaps even Britain. With all the demands we're going to make, the British could come in against us as well. So this could be a massive war. We're vastly outnumbered. Could go quite horribly if we allow them to land troops on our borders. So it's really important that we get the fleet built up. And the reason why I am considering doing this war here, let's see what all this stuff is about. So we got an event here that Commander commends the Civic Coalitions. We've seen this one before. So give more support to the Democrats. I could have swore that Matthew Perry was already a leader of a... Well, maybe not. We're going to go ahead and allow him to be the leader, I suppose, of the... I guess it would be of the armed forces, right? If I'm not mistaken, I think that's currently was his group. Yeah, that's his interest group. So he is now the leader here, and thus giving them those benefits that he has, which doesn't look like he's going to give them much here. Just the 2% interest group political strength. That's about it. He's also really old. I'll be surprised if he makes it into this next war here. We'll have to see. So we're spending a lot of money getting all these, all these new ships built up. Large number of South Germans coming to Texas. Okay. Armed forces are apparently very happy with us, which is good. It's going to work out right here in the middle of this conflict. Everybody is declaring neutrality. They don't want to get involved in this. So yeah, that's understandable. We have more troops coming. If we just looked at how long it'll be before they get there, 23 days. So pretty close to when the war breaks out here. And we'll be able to get that knocked out. Again, not a lot of troops that we had to mobilize there, just the 10. Grassroots support for the law, which is what we're currently enacting, is that compulsory primary school. Looks like the lower classes are supporting this law. And so we can say public enthusiasm will expedite the reform. That will result in more interest group attraction for the industrialists. Or we can say use this common ground to calm the masses, and we can make 20% of the lower strata pops in Iowa specifically more loyalists. I'd like to get this law passed as soon as possible, and I don't even know how many pops they have there in Iowa, how big of a difference that will make. But I think what we're going to go ahead and do is go with the public enthusiasm, increasing the percentage chance of getting this done. So that'll hike it up to 39%, so a much better chance. Pretty much almost doubles it there. So the war did break out. It's really more of a revolt, of course. And already got an event, disease among the wounded. The deaths from disease among the wounded soldiers has skyrocketed. This is not a great place for our troops to be at. And so we're going to have a lower recovery rate, or we'll have increased mortality in the District of Columbia. Yeah, I guess we'll go with this one. This is troubling, so that we don't affect the rest of our people. The soldiers will be affected, which is really strange that we got that event when our troops haven't even got there yet. Makes no damn sense. They're still in the sea, so maybe that happened in the sea, but of course that's not what that event was about. It didn't even consider if our troops were there. That's how broken these triggers are, man. I feel like Paradox needs to do a much better job with this, and I've always had that problem with Paradox and their games. They just don't have very many triggers for events, and it results in a lot of weird stuff happening. I mean, we were helping out over here, trying to get this done. Doing some battles. Well, let's just hope we don't lose too many troops overall. You see that it is already mounting the number of dead and wounded. But as of right now, we haven't lost too many troops yet. Hopefully this shouldn't be too costly of a conflict. It is a little small rebellion here. So we had that election, and I just clicked through it. What's interesting here is the Democrats did not win. The Whig Party won. 51.2% of the votes, and they're looking pretty powerful. this coalition between the intelligentsia and the industrialists. And so we have very good legitimacy now. That's really going to help us on our efforts to get this law passed. So that's nice. Yeah, this is, you know, we're advancing here. You see a lot of devastation being caused and turmoil. And I think that's it. I believe we're done with the conflict. And now it's just a matter of waiting. You know, we are not in control of the peace treaty. So all we got to do is just wait for them to annex them and get it done. And of course, it's going to take a little while. We got to wait a little bit. But our general's back. We also have to finish up with those dockyards there. And unfortunately, they've gotten an anarchist in the rural folk leading them. So if we look at that, he now has that anarchist ideology. Okay, so that's going to result in him gaining a bunch of popularity, and the lower strata pops in Michigan are going to become more radical. So that's a negative overall. Don't really know how we're going to work with an anarchist. You know, how would our government work with one? I'm not entirely sure. A lot of German people coming into our states, guys. North Germans, Southern Germans. And that might be because of the war here. That's one reason why I was considering going ahead and doing this war, is because we already know that France has been at war for a long time. And the war has been very expensive for them as well. So if we just looked at their total cost, I mean, 38.1 million is extremely expensive. Hundreds of thousands dead. This war will likely be wrapping up soon, but Russia is also involved in a war now. Or will be soon, unless they declared, because they were involved. Okay, it looks like they decided to back out of it. Okay, so they were initially supporting one of the sides here, but they decided to back out. But again, war in Germany. We've seen that throughout the campaign, but yeah, unfortunately, the Russians will be in a better position than I was expecting. But I think we're still going to do this, because when are we going to do it if we don't do it now? You know, we're in 1865 and still unable to do it. The British are going to consistently have wars that they're going to be involved in as well. They're not going to stop fighting. They're fighting China right now and the Dutch East Indies. So, I mean, this is just as good a time as any, I feel, to start the conflict up. So let's go and do that now, since we're done with that war. We already have those troops raised up, so might as well just leave them raised up and go ahead and start up the diplomatic play, though I'm not seeing one here right now. Can we not do that with us currently being at war or something? I'm not entirely sure. Usually you could do diplomatic plays while at war. At least I thought you could. I don't recall not being able to. But maybe I never tried it. I don't know. I could have swore I've done it before with wars, but I may be misremembering. Yeah, it's just so many people migrating to our states, our better standard of living, which is, you know, it's not the highest, but it's pretty decent. But with our rights, particularly, there's not too many places that people can come to and enjoy, you know, liberties and rights, rather than be discriminated against. You know, a lot of the policies in the European countries, I would assume, if we just looked at their politics, they probably still have, yeah, certain laws that exclude some people to some degree. Maybe not all of them. But yeah, I would say probably the majority will have some kind of law discriminated against certain groups of people. So I think the only ones you're going to see, maybe Canada. No, not even Canada. So I mean, I was going to say maybe, you know, countries over here in the Americas might have switched over, but we're probably the only place in the world that is currently moved all the way over to the multiculturalism. At the very least, they're going to have the cultural exclusion, which does exclude some people. It makes some people discriminated against. The multiculturalism, I don't think very many AI countries flip over to that. All right, so we had the peace treaty for France. Okay, so what ended up happening here? Looks like Prussia got something. All right, interesting, and they also won some stuff. France won some things as well, but had to give those war reparations away. And then Russia, of course, still in a conflict as well. But France has ended their war, is the point here. So yeah, we I guess just gotta wait until that capitulation happens, which it just did. Okay, so yeah, it looks like it was. Yeah, it looks like it was because we were at war. I could have swore that you could do a diplomatic play, but maybe it was. Maybe I did a diplomatic play while I had another diplomatic play going rather than an actual war, because you definitely can have multiple diplomatic plays going. It's like CK3 essentially. CK3 you can have a war when one's already going, but if your troops are raised up, which of course you can always disband in CK3, unlike this game, but when your troops are raised up, you can't declare war. And this one you can't declare war at all when you have a conflict going. So something to consider. I must not have ever tried it, or I just, just misremembered. So let's go ahead and get this started. Over Mexico and Colorado, we'll be adding more. And I just expect this is going to be a large conflict, guys. I can see this going against us horribly, but we're going to do it anyway. And just hope that it goes all right. Let's see what happens. Maybe we can bribe some people to not get involved, but of course, there's always going to be certain countries automatically involved here, as you can see, they're allies. So you're automatically going to have France, Russia, El Salvador, and Guatemala. And you see that Sardinia, Piedmont, and Italy is already leaning towards helping the Mexicans out. So yeah, there's nothing we can do to sway anybody right now. Again, this is going to result in a very large conflict, especially as I add stuff here, because you already know that we're going to be adding a lot here, because I'm going to try and get all this done in one war, at least getting this territory. Getting the rest of Mexico, if we annex them or puppet them or whatever we end up doing, that'd be a separate conflict, guys. So let's go ahead and get them to return all these states. Hiss everybody off. Let's see if there's anything else we really want to do here. Yeah, we're not going to conquer any of these states just yet. Though, that's right, I forgot there's certain areas that we have not gotten yet. Okay, so we'll have to conquer these if we want to get control of all this. So let me just scroll through here, because I saw a couple, at the very least. Kansas being one and Oklahoma being the other. And I suppose you could add Alaska on there. But one thing to consider when you're adding, besides the fact that every time you add something you're getting infamy and pissing people off and making them more likely to join the war against you. Another thing to consider is that if a country, an ally country, has nothing to lose, then they're far more likely to make peace once things get kind of costly for them. We saw that with the British in that previous war, the British and the Austrians. We didn't demand anything from them, so they could just leave the war and not lose anything. And that's one reason why I think they left so quickly, particularly the Austrians. If we had demanded something from them, then it would make them more likely to stay in the conflict. So if we want these countries to leave the war as soon as we bleed them a bit, then it's best to not demand stuff from them. Not that we can demand anything anyways, because it looks like we used all of our maneuvers. Yeah. So that's all we can get, guys. And hopefully that's everything. I'm not sure if we missed anything, because we're already going after Colorado. Those are all the states I believe that we don't have the full thing to. Yeah, see, we're demanding New Mexico. Utah's in there. So yeah, I think that's everything, guys. So again, we'll probably see some other countries come over to their side now because of all those demands we just made. Obviously, the Russians, there's no point in even attempting to boost their opinion any further. They're not going to be able to leave the diplomatic play, since they have a defensive pact with them, so they have to assist. But we can try and improve relations with the British, though, at the very least. We can even try over here in Italy, see if we can't boost their opinion. Maybe make them a little less likely to want to join against us. I'm not entirely sure if it'll work or not, but they haven't joined yet. And let's just hope the rest of these guys all stay out, because I'm not really interested in fighting them now. China's already at war. So again, hopefully they'll focus on their current conflicts and not get involved in this one. So now there's a bunch of stuff we need to do when it comes to our production methods. So first of all, not all these have been changed up, so let's go ahead and do that. And I think we're going to have everybody on shrapnel artillery here. Same with these. Of course, that's going to result in some things getting more expensive. Another thing we can do is we can make sure all of them are on cargo port. I think Cuba's not. So you see it's not going to increase clipper costs all that much, but it will result in more convoys and more infrastructure. So let's go ahead and switch over to that. We could do the industrial port. One problem with that, though, is we're not producing steamers yet. So yeah, that's going to become a problem. Coal gets very expensive, though. I think we can actually reduce the cost of coals by quite a bit. Clippers will become cheaper, though. Yeah, we'll see what we can do there, guys. But as of right now, we're just going to leave them on the cargo port. We have some other adjustments to make, so maybe that situation will change. So remember, we can't do the textile mills. Change them over to the electric sewing machines because we don't have access to the dye that we need in order to do that. So that's not really an option. There's not really anything else in this top area that I'm seeing. This is another problem with dyes. And I don't think there's anything else here besides what I came in here for, which is the urban centers. We can take a look at the shipping yards. I mean, you can go over to the reinforced wooden ships if clippers get too expensive. That would result in engines and hardwood becoming expensive, though, so there's that to consider. And can't change over that just yet because of our current production method here. If we need to, we can go over to breech loaders to get more artillery if artillery gets too expensive, so that's something to consider. But yeah, I think the only thing really to do here is what I came in here for, which is the urban centers. So what we want to do is go over to the electric street lights here, because electricity is really, really cheap right now. Now, this will result in electricity being too expensive, but I don't think they've fully built out the New York electric power plant yet. And this will also greatly reduce the cost of coal, and that's what I was talking about, that we had something that could reduce the cost of coal. And so it's going to be really cheap now because we're using electricity instead. This will result in more services being available, so many more that services are going to be super cheap. Also going to have more engineers rather than laborers. And this is going to make the urban centers do a lot better economically. Look at that change there. Yeah, that's going to be helpful for them. So we're going to change that up. And then again, the problem is probably going to be coal here, guys. In which case we can go over to the industrial ports, but then you got the steamer issue. So in that case, you'd need to go change up your shipyards to build the steamships. But as you'll notice, we don't have that technology. So that's not even an option yet. Okay, so yeah, we're just going to have really cheap coal. I think that's all we can do for right now. But yeah, let me just double check here, make sure that is the case. At the power plants, yeah, they have a lot. They can still do, I think. Maybe not. But the cost of electricity is really cheap, so now it's going to get very expensive. So what we might want to do is go ahead and build another one of these. Yeah, build it up a bit more. Because, yeah, they're making stupid amounts of money. Maybe build 2 of these up to get that electricity cost down a bit. That's what we'll be working on. Let me see if there's anything else that we really need to change and adjust or whatever. Fruit, pretty cheap. Could trade some of that away. Yeah, that could be one way to make some money. Is to trade some of the fruit away. But at the same time, keeping it cheap would be beneficial to our people as well. So that's something to consider. So wine is still very expensive. We have set up some import routes for this, but clearly not enough. I think we're only trading for like 10 each here, so that's not really, you're not getting much for it. So yeah, we'll just want to trade with people who we're definitely not going to be at war with. So not the Russians or the British or the French, because all of them are going to be in this conflict against us. So we have to do so many trade routes just because we're not getting much for each one of those. Only 10 essentially. So not much there. It's not going to make a huge difference in the cost, but it'll improve it some. Coffee still high. We can do that. Improve that easy enough. Clothes are high for now as well, so we might go ahead and do something there. Sulfur is also quite high. I think we've already changed all the production methods for the sulfur mines, so there's really not much we can do there outside of building new ones. And so that's what we're going to do here, guys. So we're just going to go down the list here and get all these fixed. So let's go and start with the sulfur mines. And get these built. Let me see, we're probably in Texas. Yeah, Texas makes sense here. So build there. And then next would be, already did our best with the wine. Of course, we can always make some adjustments with our production methods, I suppose. So let's go and get the coffee now. Where's that at? I'm just looking past it. There we go, coffee plantation. So we'll go ahead and get, what, one more maybe? Yeah, costs are not too high to coffee. So yeah, we'll just do one more. We also want to keep the Cubans rich as well. Next would be clothes. Let's just kind of get them doing something while we build up for this war. Because we probably won't build much during the war because, yeah, I don't want to spend too much. During that last war, I think that's where a lot of our spending went, was we were constructing the whole time. So we found ourselves getting in, what, 3 million, 2 million, whatever it was, pounds in debt. So all these are going to be profitable because clothes are worth so much right now. So let's go ahead and build in, I think we're going to do one in New York and then maybe one in Pennsylvania. And then we could also do the lead. Yeah, that'd be helpful. Fabric and engines, and then that'll be it. Yeah, so let's go ahead and do the lead next. Oops, that's iron, obviously. And best place would probably be Arkansas or Missouri. They got more peasants here, so we'll go there. Fabric, let's go with the cotton plantations here. Let's see where we've got some space. It looks like, I mean, we could really do this anywhere. A lot of options here, but we'll do it in Georgia. We're getting them all up to level 10, I suppose. Nice round number there. And then the engines. And that'll be the last thing that we do here, guys, before the conflict. So yeah, we want to build the motor industries up in Michigan. So we'll do one more level there. Alright, so I'll keep them busy up until the point they're ready to do this war. France has broken off their trade agreements. Because, yeah, we're about to go to war with them, obviously. I'm just hoping they're not in a good place to do the war. And we got the objective completed, the expand power plants. We had to get that up to level 10, and they had to have be making money and be fully staffed. And I think it was 75% staffed or something like that. But the recent expansion of the power plants in New York has inspired faith in a future where all of the United States of America is electrified. So we can say unlimited power, 33% power plants building throughput for 5 years. So that's pretty helpful. Steady get progress towards electric railways, or steam turbines, or shift work. So that's really what it comes down to, is you want some tech progress. We're going to go with this, guys, to get the cost of electricity down as much as possible here. And so now we need to be, you know, we'll finish this, but then we need to start working on our manufacturing for ammunition and weapons. Now we do trade that. So what we can do, now France is trying to damage their relations with us. Well, that relationship sure turned around, didn't it? So it looks like nobody else has currently joined against us, so that's good. And hopefully they stay out of it. Mexico doesn't really have a reason to sway anybody. I mean, they have so much support right now. There's really no reason for them to get anybody else. They're going to outnumber us vastly. Considering how outnumbered we are, probably would be good to go ahead and start raising our troops up here. So this will allow us to invest more in education. We actually have a pretty high bureaucracy shortage, so that's a problem we're going to need to get fixed. But this is increasing support with a lot of different interest groups, making them happy with us. So good thing overall. And we just looked at the total support now. I mean, almost everybody is happy. Everybody is happy except for the bourgeoisie, and they're very close to being happy. And so we're getting all these bonuses, guys. Particularly, you know, the plus 10 that we're getting 4 of the factions right now. That's giving you migration attraction, more offense and defense. This will be helpful for the war. More capitalist investment pool contribution, and a higher workforce ratio. So yeah, super helpful that we made everybody so happy. So do we want to go ahead and start working on the next law? Oh, that's right, we're waiting on the tech. We haven't got that yet. Feminism. We'll get that in 5 months. So I guess we can do that. If it doesn't piss too many people off, because remember, we will be at war here, so something to consider. But let's go and get our troops raised up. So we're going to go ahead and, we don't want to mobilize, well, I guess we do want to mobilize all the generals. I was going to say we don't want to because of Simon, but obviously we want him mobilized, but he can't mobilize. So let's go to mobilize all our troops up. I'm wondering if it'll let you do it this way. I don't think so. Because he's still considered busy. Yeah. I was going to say maybe that'll work, but obviously it did not. So this gives us all of our standing army troops with the exception of those 10 that he currently has. But obviously that's not going to be anywhere near enough. That's for us 50 battalions. So obviously, yeah, not even close to how many we're going to need. So let's go and start getting that set up. One thing I did want to make an adjustment with is when we look at the total number of divisions that battalions that we're going to be able to invade Mexico with, because we're going to do a naval invasion, as happened historically. We're going to do a naval invasion and go after the capital here. But as of right now, we only have the 19. I'd like 20. So let's go ahead and build up a few regular barracks here in the New England area. We'll do one at a time in the hope that one will be enough, but because he is splitting these with Simon, maybe not. I think he would get the one, because he should get 2/3. So I think he gets the one. So we should only have to build one, but we'll see. So as far as where we're going to build it, I guess we're going to get New Jersey built all the way up. All right, so we're going to work on that, and then we want to go ahead and start raising up the conscripts. But before we do that, let me take this up to the top here, guys. And we might not need these power plants as well because of that modifier we just got. Let me just take a look at what electricity is currently costing. I feel like with that bonus there, yeah, it's not going to be that expensive. And so I think what we're going to do is actually just stop this. I know we worked on it a little bit, guys, but we don't want electricity to get too cheap either. So yeah, I think this is better. That'll allow us, get all this other stuff built up. And I suppose we want to go ahead and start activating conscription centers. So as far as how many we're going to activate and where, well, Robert Lee in the Midwest HQ, we're going to want to give him the full 40 at the very least. We might need to promote him, though, so he can have more conscripts underneath him, or hire another general. That'd be an option as well. But then they split these 20 here, too. He's very good defensively, so I almost feel like we should just promote him. He is with the Southern Planters, though, so then you're strengthening the Southern Planters. In fact, I think he might be the leader of the Southern Planters. So, yeah, that's another thing to consider if you strengthen him some. But at the same time, I really like his experienced defensive strategist. I think that would be really useful for us. We just don't know how many units the French and Russians are going to send. So, one other thing to consider is that we're going to have this other front here. And so that's a reason to split some of the troops. But I guess the other question is, should we split them in the Dixie HQ, or should we split them in the Midwest? Yeah, I think almost it might almost be better to split them in the Midwest. Now that does result in him only having 5 of the regular units. I think that might be the better option, guys. And then just have the 40 underneath him, or promote him and let him get 80. Okay, so that's what we're going to do, guys. Rather than getting 2 generals here, we'll promote Robert Lee. There's the negatives there. Obviously, the increasing the political strength of the Southern Planters is not a good thing. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and do that, guys, so that he can have more units. We want to be able to get the 80 conscripts. So we're going to raise 80 up in the Midwest. And then the South will probably hire another general and raise 80 up there as well, is what I'm thinking. Yeah, that's clearly probably the best way to do it. So let's go ahead and set these guys up to defend. Although maybe we'll wait until we hire this other general, so I know which one's going to be on the defense. Yeah, so let's go ahead and hire another general. We do need to fix our bureaucracy cost here, guys. So we'll do that after we finish hiring all these troops. So this is going to be in the Dixie HQ. There's also Cuba to defend. That's something to consider as well. They could end up invading Cuba, and it will hurt our economy pretty bad. But yeah, let's go ahead and raise another general up here in the Dixie HQ. We have 2 choices, Armed Forces or Southern Planters. That's the interest groups here. And we got James Longstreet and Colin Carey. So he's got the experienced offensive planner, brave, and expert defensive strategist. Wow, that's really good. So he's good at defense and offense, and same thing with this guy. But he's better at offense and defense, but still clearly not better than him. But he is wrathful, so you're going to get those bonuses. But I think it's better to go with the brave character who's got the better defensive and offensive traits here. So that's what we're going to go with. We'll go ahead and recruit him. And so they'll split those troops. So they'll have 5 each. And then we're going to go ahead and get... Should we raise more barrack subs here? I think we'll just do a conscripts, guys. Yeah, it's too late to be raising up that many barracks, guys. So let's just activate the conscripts. So I believe that's 80 in each with one extra one here in the south. Which means that nobody will have charge of that one unit. Alright, so I think we're good to go, though we do need to actually assign these guys to their fronts. So one will leave for the invasion, to assist in the invasion, and until then they'll just kind of defend our coastline here. So we'll have a general if they happen to do any invasions. So the other one will come over to the front here, and we'll attempt to advance here if we can. So as far as which one we should go with, I mean, we'll just take a look at the traits here. So you're going to get a offensive bonus there, aggressive maneuver chance because he's direct. Here you're not getting that, but you are getting the morale damage protection. As far as who's better offense, clearly William Schubrick is better, while James Longstreet is much better at defense. Okay, so I think he would do the invasions, because not really do a naval invasion, of course, but to come onto the coast and assist after the naval invasion is done, because he also has that supply requisitions expert, and yeah, he's better at the offense. So James Longstreet would be the one that we're going to want to put over here, and he's going to just defend this front for now. Though these are separate fronts. Okay, I didn't realize that. Okay, so eventually we'd want to put, or we could just do that now. We could put William Sherbrooke over here. Just advance this and grab that little bit of territory real quick. All right. So yeah, just gotta get all those troops raised up. I did need to build something. That's right. We needed to get the bureaucracy situation solved. So let's go ahead and deal with that. And as far as where we're doing these, again, just kind of base them off the peasants here. So we don't have one in Texas yet, or Oklahoma. And we'll probably need a few of these to be able to get that bureaucracy up. We'll do 3 for now. So unfortunately, building a lot of stuff. We have a huge investment pool right now. And you can see Russia, Mexico, they're both mobilizing. Also, we've moved up in rank here, probably because of the fleet we built up. We've now gone above Russia. So if we look at our GDP among the great powers, we have one of the higher GDPs. China, obviously, they're not a great power because they're unrecognized. So it's France and Britain that have, significantly higher GDPs than we do. We're higher than Russia, Prussia, Austria, and Scandinavia by quite a bit. As far as the standard of living goes, looks like maybe only the British have higher than us. Yeah, only the British have a higher standard of living than we do, though France is close. Population, much lower population, France, Great Britain. They built up some empires as the game has been progressing. You can see that they have been expanding their territory, guys, and that's a big part of it. So far, nobody else has joined, so it looks like this is just going to be the war here. I say just. We're fighting Mexico, Russia, and France. So it's going to be a challenging conflict, guys, and a costly one, both in money and in lives. It's going to be unfortunate. We do also want to set up our fleet, just so I don't forget to do this. So we do need another admiral, apparently, since our Dixie HQ admiral died. So we'll have 2 choices, an intelligentsia one. Okay, you don't see them very often here in the military. And then a southern planter. He's charismatic. A masterful diplomat. He has cancer, though, so he's probably not going to live very long. He's a good convoy raider as well. Okay. I feel like he's probably the better of these options, even with the cancer. So we'll see how long he lives, but yeah, that's who we'll be recruiting from now. Alright, so let's go ahead and go back to the fleets and get these assigned. So I do want to raid them to hurt. Yeah, I would like to really hurt their supply into Mexico. But for now, let's just put them on patrol coast. Because I don't know if they'll attempt any invasions here. And we do not need them hitting us from behind here. So we'll do that for now. And it looks like everybody's declaring neutrality. Excellent. I was worried that we'd fight in the British as well. I actually thought we would fight them. And I was thinking that was going to be a rough fight, fighting against 3 great powers. But we were going to still attempt to do it. But now, as far as the fleet goes, I mean, France has a nice size fleet with 210 ships, and the Russians have 124, so they vastly outnumber us. Yeah, we can actually compete a little bit. We'll see, guys. We'll see what happens there. All right, so we got the rotary valve engines. So these will reduce the amount of labors that we need in these industries. Again, you know, extra population has not been a problem for us. So the war is just about ready to break out. Everybody's declared neutrality, so we know who's all going to be involved in this. So far, we're going to have more troops on the front, so we need to take advantage of that and push the front forward, I think, as quickly as we can. So what we'll probably do is take our generals here and have them start advancing. Let's let this war kick up first, though. There we go. We're going to turn this down a bit. And so the war has started. And so we'll see more troops on their way over here. But this is the only front as of right now, unless we see naval invasions open it up a bit further, which hopefully our fleet will protect against. We'll see, guys. But yeah, let's go and get our general set up with new orders, because Robert Lee is going to go ahead and advance the front while we're facing so little opposition on this front. I wonder if the Europeans are even going to want to get much involved here. He's going to stay where he's at since he's going to be doing our naval invasion. We're going to set that up here in a minute. We're going to do that, immediately. And then I suppose we'll keep him on here to advance this front. And I suppose we'll have him advance as well while we can. Let's have them both pushing the front forward there. Yeah, I think that'll work out nicely. All right, so with this play, and France just now has began to mobilize. I guess they didn't expect this to turn into a conflict. Oh yes, I did forget the naval invasion. My bad, guys. So Matthew Perry's gonna be doing this naval invasion, and Peter will be leading the troops on that invasion. So again, we'll see. That's gonna be 50 days for him to get that ready. It means our coast is not protected out here. That is our smaller coast. So I will see if they do any invasions. And then yeah, we're gonna be advancing over here with not a lot of opposition right now. There's just not a lot of troops over here. And also, it looks like we finished up there. Okay, so what we're going to want to do, now that he's done, because I assume he moved to another front, is to go ahead and move him. Yeah, he's currently advancing here. And so we don't want him to do that, actually. We're going to go ahead and have him stand by. Because he's going to instead be helping us out over here. So we still outnumber him. That's what's important. For now, but eventually they might outnumber us as they get more troops from their allies, in which case we'll then want to go onto the defense. It's a very good defensive location. Us advancing will be difficult, I think. You see, as of right now, we have James Longstreet advancing, and he did the charted terrain, so he's going to get a 15% kill rate, while they did the careful maneuver, so 10% morale, damage, protection, and 10% less casualties taken. So still, yeah, that 15% isn't completely offsetted. Our offense is much higher than their defense, and we have more units as well. But look at the sheer number of dead that we're facing already. This is going to be a much costlier conflict than anything we've seen thus far in the campaign, guys. We also can see that we're attempting to advance over here under Longstreet. So this is the current battle. Is that the one I looked at? That might have been the one. I thought it was up here somewhere. But yeah, this is the same battle. Yeah, look at that. 700 dead already. This is a costly battle, guys. A lot of troops involved here. A lot of battalions. And so, again, we're already seeing the cost here. Almost 1,000 dead in this one battle here. I never did look at the cost of our military goods, so that's something to consider, because we're spending a lot. They might not be that expensive, but we'll probably still want to shut down trade of anything military related. I'm not seeing the ammunition. We see artillery. Neither one of these are horrible, but we can save ourselves a lot of money if we cut off any trade of those. There's the ammunition, so that's not bad, really, considering the fact that we raised all these troops up. That's not bad at all. But yeah, let's go ahead and reduce our trading. And some of these are already inactive because we were trading with France. we're going to keep those up because I intend to, I intend to keep trading with France. Looks like fertilizer's not making any money here, so we're going to stop the trade of that. And so we're just looking for any of our own routes. I mean, ammunition, yeah, that's just the France one. I thought we were trading artillery, on our own. Obviously, we have people trading for it, but yeah, we're not. We're not trading small arms away either, it looks like. Okay, so we don't need to cut off any trade because the only thing we were trading was ammunition to the French. And that's probably why the costs aren't quite as high as I thought they'd be. Really not that bad, considering. So yeah, we got this little patch here in Oklahoma conquered already. You see that as far as our war support goes, it's pretty close at this moment. When is that invasion kicking off here? 14 more days, guys. And that'll start. So we have already advanced here after that battle. We took a bunch of territory. And then looks like there'll be another battle over here. Just taking a look at our costs. We're already at 12,000 dead. Most of that from attrition. Yeah, I mean, we're going to have much higher losses because we're going to be the one on the offense. Already 609,000 is the cost. So as you can see, it's significantly more expensive than our previous conflict already. And he should be doing this here in a couple days. We have more people coming to our states still, even in the time of war. And yeah, nothing to resist us, guys. And so we were able to just land without any resistance. Not quite where I wanted to on here, but that's fine. So he'll be advancing the frontier. But we're going to want to give him more troops. Because yeah, I don't think that's going to be enough for him to get it done if the Mexicans at all focus, or any of their allies focus on this. So what we're going to go ahead and do is take Wilhelmshaburg. I know that means we don't have anybody to defend our territory here outside of those in garrisons or whatever, but yeah, I'm not going to have anybody really to defend. We can flip somebody over there if they invade us. We will protect our coast, guys, so we'll have that. So yeah, let's go ahead and have him advance, have him advance the front over here. So they'll both be advancing this front, and that's really where we're going to hope to win the war, is down there. So we also want to make sure the fleet is patrolling these coasts now to protect against naval invasion. And if we see convoy raiding, then we'll deal with that if it happens. There's another battle happening here. Looks like we did a surprise maneuver. This is under Robert Lee. And they were camouflaged, so they got that defense bonus, but we got the morale damage bonus. The defense is going to save them here. So we are advancing there. Let me take a look at this battle here. Peter is able to advance without any general over here. So that's good. And that means they're going to get a huge penalty since they don't have the necessary general to stop us. Having at least a general is pretty important in the game. And we did have a nice gold reserve there to help cover this expense. And so because Guatemala's involved, there's a front down here that will also need to be advanced. And we'll be able to advance in two different directions once we get those other troops over here. We'll kind of move them around based on that. So we just need to get them there first. But so far things are going well. I'm not entirely sure where their allies are. It almost feels like they're not going to help. Like they got involved because they had to, because they had a defensive pact with Mexico. But like they weren't actually interested in helping. That's what it seems like to me anyways. And once this guy gets over here, we could go ahead and flip him over. Yeah, I suppose we will. Flip him over to this front. Though I wanted the larger army over here. But yeah, they'll be advancing if we don't move soon. So I guess what we'll do, let's have him advance over here where there's actually a little bit of some other units here opposing us. So we'll advance over there. But we should still have him, Wilhelmshaburg, coming over here. Yeah. It'll take him some time to get there, but that's all right. All right, so we'll advance there. That'll take him a little bit of time to get over there. You see we have won these battles here and advance the front. And there's another battle up here in invading to northern California. And not too bad on the number of dead or wounded here in that battle. Again, it's attrition that's going to kill us. That's literally that's going to kill our troops here. We got those 34 battalions over here, so now we're advancing in front that way again. And here's the thing: there's no nobody's helping them outside of their other Central American allies. Nobody's helping them in this conflict. So that's unfortunate for them. We are seeing that they're advancing here. We did get that feminism, excellent. So we need to pick a new technology. I know that we probably won't get this in time for the war to end. I mean, it really depends. Because, yeah, here, this would be really useful, and we can get that to 3 to 5 months, so I think we should go ahead and get that, since it's already partially researched. And that's a passive bonus, so why not get it? It'd be helpful for us. So we're going to grab that up. And just see where... okay, so they're advancing over here, causing us some problems there. Alright, so there's no active battles here. Okay, so that ended that front, but where did he go? Also, convoys have been sunk. 260 of our convoys, good God. Okay, so clearly that's probably the French. So we'll need to fix that. I need to find out where these units went though. Did he move all the way up here? Of course he moved all the way up there. Alright, buddy. Killing me, man. Alright, so he went over there, and we just missed it. Now we gotta advance the front down here and get him moving down there, which of course is gonna take him time. 31 days. So it's just, why would your general move? We've seen this happen in Hearts of Iron 4 all the time with the front management. And it's incredibly frustrating when they do it. But yeah, they'll often like pick a front that their army's on that's really far away in Hoi-Vor, instead of the one that's like right next to them. And you see the same thing here, guys. They don't pick the front. Look at all these fronts they could move to, but instead they pick this one way over here. Takes 30 days to get to, which already has 2 armies and vastly outnumbers the enemy. Doesn't make any sense. There's no logic to it. They just move. So again, typical things we see in Paradox games. No different. So over here, we're gonna take a look at our fleet and see if we want to, protect against, escort some convoys. Because if we took a look, where's this going through here? So we need to find out which of these shipping lanes is being impacted. Looks like these 3 here. The trade with Modena. Okay, so that's where the convoy raiding is currently happening. So our importing of wine and our exporting of tobacco and fertilizer. So I think we will go ahead and protect those. And so that's in Italy here. So let's go and get that set up. So that's, I showed this in the previous war. This is how you find out which one of the routes they're currently raiding. But I believe I cut out some of this when I was talking about it. I won't go into as much discussion I did on that one and accidentally cut out. I won't do that again. But yeah, basically what you need to know is where the trade route is that's being raided, so that you can set up your fleet to then protect that specific trade route. So we want them to do the escort convoys to Modena, or Italy in this case. And hopefully they'll actually battle them. I don't know if we'll be able to see that. Yeah, it's actually being raided right here, specifically. So yeah, that's the actual, the point where they're being invaded. So hopefully we can stop any further convoys are being sunk. We'll have to see. I'd really like to see the battles take place, but you gotta kind of stare at the location in order to see it. Because no notifications, man. I just wish they did everything through here, kind of like CK3. Where all the notifications are in this location that you have to click on. You don't want to leave it open because it blocks too much. I don't really like that. I prefer more notifications up here, like this one here. I think that would be useful if we just had more alerts, more notifications here than we currently do. So yeah, they're advancing the frontier because he took off. So now we gotta wait. It's very unfortunate. But still outnumbering them, they apparently don't have any help. They're not getting any help from the Europeans. We did not protect those convoys yet. We got raided and weren't able to protect them. So that's unfortunate. Because, yeah, they're sinking a ton of convoys. This is not a small number of convoys being sunk. Like in the previous conflict, where the British were sinking like a few here and there, like 20 or something like that. They're sinking like 100-something, 200-something convoys in each one of those. Oh, damn. Did he move again? Are you freaking serious? Yeah, this is, again, the issues here, guys. So now you got Robert Lee coming down here, and they're just flip-flopping. Exactly what they do in Hearts of Iron 4. Or they, like, flip-flop your fronts. And they flip-flop for units. So Heater's going to come from down here, take 30 days to move all the way up here to this front, while Robert E. Lee is going to then move from here and take 30 days to move to this front, rather than stay where the hell they're at. It's just so frustrating. This is something we've seen in Paradox games before, and then they just... Let's just keep it. Let's keep it as is. It's fine. No problem here. William Schubert moved up there too. So it's just like, you gotta babysit the fronts. And that's kind of the issues. Babysitting the fronts. So the idea that you wouldn't have to be involved in war is not true. And that's what so many people are excited about. Like, oh, I could just focus on doing other things and my troops will manage the war. No, they won't. No, you gotta micromanage them. So you still have the micromanagement without any of the fun. And so that's where my real issue with the war system. You still have to micromanage them to a degree. Now, obviously, we're keeping this over here. We put it on speed 4, in fact, because there's so little stuff to actually do. Man, I don't know why we're not protecting our convoys here. I mean, maybe we are doing battles and I'm missing them, because that could be a real possibility. We'd have to, like, stare at it to actually catch a battle if it's going to happen. But yeah, they should be helping us out here. But so far, yeah, we haven't actually seen a battle. Oh my. So Robert Lee just died. So that's not good. So now we need to get another general there to take over his army. Because yeah, that means that that whole area doesn't have a general right now. So this is the Midwest HQ with all those troops. So let's go ahead and pick. Well, that's interesting. We're having different interest group members here. So I think we should go with the expert offensive planner. He's also a pillager, so that's a negative, but he's reckless as well. Yeah, I think he's the best option here. Alright, so he'll be moving automatically. Oh no, he's not even mobilized. Well, that's interesting. So if the general dies, then they don't have their troops mobilized anymore? Okay. Yeah, but they've got a little bit of respite here. And did Peter just move again? Oh, so it looks like all of our generals are on the areas I want them to be. Yeah, just slowly kind of getting this adjusted. And you see he's currently traveling somewhere. Oh, this is, I just now noticed this. This is Sherman, General Sherman, William Sherman from Civil War. A very famous general. Sherman tanks were named after him. Yeah, very famous general from the Union side of the Civil War. I didn't even notice that when I hired him. I don't think I actually looked at his name. I just looked at what interest group they're from. So yeah, he's currently moving over here. So yeah, definitely winning this war, guys. Let's go ahead and make our demands. And, you can see that they're trying to get Texas. And they want us to liberate Pueblo. Let's go ahead and make our demands. Say this is what we want. And they are very unwilling to accept those. Again, if we wanted them to accept quicker, you can take some of these off. And so that's one reason not to make as many demands, is because you have to fight for longer to be able to get these demands accepted. But I'm hoping that these other countries will start to capitulate. Russia's mobilized by 15%, 13% for France, so they're not very mobilized, but we haven't even seen their troops over here. The only thing they've done in the war so far is raid our convoys, and that's it. Which we've been looking for a battle over here, but haven't seen one yet. Yeah, just like some notifications, man. Something, let me know what's going on here. And they did say they're going to adjust that, because the Navy right now does feel like, I don't know, you just don't have much interaction with it, and it's just not visualized very well, so yeah, I do hope they improve that, and it does feel like this has gotten messed up again. Yeah, this is irritating. Oh yeah, he's moved over here now. Okay, I wanted to just stay here, buddy. I didn't notice he was so distracted with his name. And French people are coming to Connecticut because they're tired of living in France and all their debt. Here's an actual battle. I wonder if they're trying to invade us. I assume so. They could have been raiding us instead. You know what? They are raiding us here as well. Yeah, this is that same route, of course. So we're actually engaging somebody. So it looks like it was the Russians raiding us rather than the French. I just expected it was the French. So yeah, we're battling out with the Russian admiral here who blundered. Sounds like a Russian admiral. But we face rough waters ourselves. So we'll see how we do here, but probably not going to win this battle. Because they have the higher defense, and they have one more ship than we do. So it looks like we're going to lose that sea battle, unfortunately. Okay, well, at least we're actually engaging them and stopping them from just sinking our convoys like as if we weren't doing anything about it. So putting him back up on the Utah front, and he's advancing this front here. Yeah, just having to micromanage the crap out of this. So he's staying on the Utah front, and that's where we want him. And he should be down here. Okay. So I think everybody's in their locations. And now he moved over to the Kansas front to take out this one little area here. Yeah, just that one little area. All right, let's let him do it, I suppose. Whatever, just advance the front, guys. Here we're outnumbered at this point because of the generals flip-flopping all over the place constantly. Now, we're not building anything right now. We do have a massive investment pool, guys, 2.68 million. So let's use the investment pool. That means we have to build stuff that, obviously will be paid for by that. But we've got the bureaucracy up, so that's not a problem. Now, it looks like we're having some major issues with the luxury clothes, and there's really not much we can do about that, guys. Oh, maybe not, because it looks like Austria has more than I was expecting. So we can trade with them. And they were pretty expensive before, so yeah, we'll trade with them. But that's it. I know that's not going to bring the cost down by a lot, but remember the trade route with France will start back up as soon as the war is over. But yeah, our rich people can't get their clothes, so that's a problem for them. Looks like artillery, small arms, and ammunition are all now very expensive, as you'd expect them to be. We don't have any trade routes for that, though, so not anything to shut down there. All you can really do, yeah, because we're not actually giving that to the French. All you can really do is build more or trade for it. And I suppose we can trade for it to save ourselves some money here. Yeah, that'd probably be in our best interest, guys. So we will trade for all three of these just until the war is over. If we even can. And if we even have the convoys, which we do not. We lost too many convoys here, guys. So we can't even do that. We can't trade for anything. Alright, so that's not an option. So basically, we can build them up higher levels, but I don't really think that makes sense. By the time we get them built, the war will probably be over or close to over. So yeah, that's not really an option. Sulfur is still a little expensive, so I suppose we could do that. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. Luxury furniture. It's a little bit expensive, but regular furniture isn't too pricey, so probably just change over a production method to get that. And then groceries. So that's what we'll do, sulfur and the groceries. So we'll start with the sulfur mines. And probably just build up in Texas again. They got a lot of peasants there now. Remember, they did just start getting all that migration. So yeah, that makes sense. And then the food industries. Looks like they're going to be profitable anywheres. Illinois, though, seems to be the best place, so we'll build it there. And I suppose we'll get one in Kentucky as well. Alright, so that's that. You know what? Because sulfur is going to continue to increase, let's get one more in Texas here. Okay, so that'll make use of the investment pool there. Deplete it some. And then we also know that we need to change up our furniture industries to at least some degree. You know what? The only thing we can do is switch Maine over, which is just the one. Okay, so, might just be better to build another one of these then. But we're going to wait. We already got enough production up here. I don't want to produce any further. Another general moving, and I think that's fine. Yeah, I think he was already on that front. Just got to keep in mind where they're supposed to be at and then fix them if they go to the wrong location. So it seems that there are some Russians on this front now. So we are seeing some troops here. So yeah, there's Russians over here. So we actually are fighting the Russians now. And we're blundering while doing so. But yeah, we are defeating them here, so we'll advance there here in a minute. And I believe that's where we wanted him to go. He finished up here. Or not really. He could invade here. But I suppose we want to make sure they don't advance there. So yeah, he'll move over there. Continuing that there. And then we'll have all these troops over here. But France has 1 battalion over here. Just 1. And looks like they capitulated. And just like that, we completed the Manifest Destiny Frontier Wars and the Mexican Cession. Now, you'll note that even though Mexico gave in, we are still at war with these other countries. But there's not really anything to like ask for, because we didn't ask for anything for them. So we just set terms to the white peace. And it looks like the Russians would agree to that. Yeah, there's no reason to keep this war going any longer. We do have another naval battle here, and it looks like we lost this one as well. So our fleet did not do well in the seas. We could put more troops down here, just in case they don't accept anytime soon. I think we probably should. We don't want to bring a bunch of troops down here. Just a few. Don't want to get too crazy with it. It will be the only front. So I'm thinking like 40-something units here, which we have 2. So Longstreet or Schuberg. And he is better at the offensive, so we'll bring him down here. I mean, 44 battalions is a lot for just fighting 2, but I'm assuming that if this war keeps going, that their allies will send more troops down there. Alright, so we got the frontier wars done. The last vestiges of Native American rule have been stamped out, leaving only the Dominion of the United States of America. Because this is going to result in all that territory becoming homelands of the Yankee and Dixie culture. And then the Mexican Cession. We have wrested control of the American Southwest from the illegitimate clutches of Mexico. The United States of America now stretches from the Atlantic to the Pacific. This was our destiny, and now those areas, those states, become homelands of our peoples. Alright, excellent. So there we go, guys. We've got control of all of the continental United States. We don't have Alaska yet. We don't have Hawaii. And we've taken over areas that America didn't historically have. So we've gotten this area here. We got Cuba. And the war, in total, 64,000 dead so far, guys. And most of that's from attrition. 18,000 wounded. Cost is $3.34 million. So really not as expensive as I was expecting to be with all those troops we raised, but we did it quickly. It was a nice quick conflict. Now it's not over yet, obviously. They need to agree to peace. You see 10,000 dead on their sides. That's not counting Mexico, though. But yeah, just nowhere near the casualties we faced. Though they do have more wounded. But yeah, the cost is not as bad either. But again, without Mexico being involved here, you're not really getting an accurate interpretation of that. And there we go. That's the peace treaty, guys. So they agreed right away. I wasn't entirely sure if they would or not. Yeah, our economy's still good. We still have gold reserves. We didn't have to go in debt for that. Worked out pretty well because they didn't send a lot of troops. They barely sent any. We saw 1 from France. What it was like, maybe 20 from Russia or something like that. They didn't send any troops to help because, frankly, it looks like they didn't really want to help. So now we need to improve relations with those countries we just went to war with. Like, hey guys, let's make up and be friends again. And I don't think we need to keep it going with them any longer. Alright, so continue improving relations with the great powers here. We're already building, but we probably build more. Yeah, there's no reason we can't build more. Also, we need to get more bureaucracy so we can add these as states as well as the other states that we haven't yet added. There's quite a few still left to add. So okay, we looked at this. Yeah, we got a lot of states. All the new territory we just took over. And this as well, all needs to be taken. And we're currently incorporating Oklahoma, Wyoming, and Montana. Yeah, we need to add those ones, but I don't think we really have the bureaucracy to add too many more of them. And we need more bureaucracy anyway because we have institutions that we could be increasing that we haven't yet. Social Security, the education, law enforcement, all these could be increased, and we're not because we don't have the bureaucracy. So that's something we're going to want to work on. We also will take a look at our territories here when we come into the next episode, see exactly what we got. We're probably getting a ton of gold, I would assume. Well, gold mine's not as much there as I was expecting, but a lot over here in Nevada and also Arizona. So yeah, we got all this gold here, so that's one reason we're making so much money. And yeah, we'll want to take a look at like their state, if they have any state bonuses or penalties here. Like Nevada has penalties to agriculture, infrastructure, and state construction due to their desert. No state bonuses here in Arizona or penalties or whatever. Got the Rocky Mountains here in Colorado. We've already seen that, I think, though. Utah, also infrastructure penalty. California, infrastructure penalty with the Sierra Nevada. But you're getting a 20% agricultural throughput, so great place for agriculture here in California. And you're also getting the logging industry bonuses due to the Northern California coastal forest. So yeah, we'll have to take a look at like what industries we have there and how our economy is doing now that we've added that in there. It's going to make some huge changes. Fine art. There's a little bit of demand for fine art right now. So some of our pops have clearly gotten very, very rich and they want to buy art now. So yeah, all these will adjust with the war over, and we'll take a look at it and see what we want to change, what we want to improve or build on or whatever. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy today's episode with that war. Went very, very well. And that was largely because the Europeans didn't really support Mexico. They joined the conflict, but didn't actually assist at all outside of those few battalions and helping in the sea as well. They, of course, did help in the sea, and they sunk a bunch of our convoys, and that was a problem. Clearly, our fleet is just not up to task, guys. We've got to build that up some if we want to do better in the sea next time. But yeah, overall, very, very good conflict that gained us a lot of territory. Though we do have a lot of infamy now. We're notorious, so we're going to have to spend some time burning that off. Everybody's going to be kind of unhappy with us for some time. But yeah, I do hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you did, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. Do hope to see you guys on the next one. And thanks for watching.